Hi everyone, I'm Sima Levy with Nest Seekers International here with the most beautiful Lauren Pastore from Contour Mortgage. Hi Lauren, how are you?
Hey, thank you for being here.
So today is our first episode. We are so thrilled to actually connect us all. Um, so this is the Gold Coast Connections. Why did we choose Gold Coast Connections? Because we are coast to coast and we are going to get every professional involved in our podcast. What do we think?
I think it's great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. So, Lauren, speaking of professionals, you are, from what I hear and know, top in Contour. Tell us a little bit about how you started in the mortgage industry.
All right. So, hi, everybody. I'm Lauren Pastore, Contour Mortgage Sales Manager. So, how I started in the industry. So, I was actually waitressing and I met a realtor who liked my personality and he wanted me to work for him. So, I got some real estate background. And when I met somebody who worked at a bank, they had an opening for a mortgage processor in the operations division. And because I had that realtor experience, they wanted me to come work there. And really, I've been doing it ever since. I was super young when I started.
I love it. Super young when she started.
Yeah.
Now, when you started, you said you were a processor. What is something that you loved and learned and you still take it away with you today?
So being a processor before being in the sales division actually gives you a real broad scope of how the mortgage process works, right? So I became extremely diligent and really good in the paperwork aspect of it when a file was submitted. So I apply my knowledge to my sales background now, and it's just much easier when you have that processing experience.
I love that. So
Yeah.
it's almost like the tool that takes you away. What comes first, right? The chicken or the egg? Processing something and understanding the product, I feel, made you a success.
Yep.
The same, I feel, holds true for me in real estate. However, I didn't begin in real estate with a license. I began in investing at a very young age for my own family. By the time I was 28 years old, my ex-husband and I owned shopping centers. But it was something that we were really passionate about, just investing and watching the market closely. So from there, post-marriage, after becoming a buyer and learning the tools of how to become an entrepreneur and learning a product and appreciated every strict market because at Bergdorf Goodman, you deal with the top elite. I found Nest Seekers, one of my great friends, Sean Elliott. Nest Seekers is known to deal with the top elite, and I came from that background. I take it personally, and every client of mine, I take my fiduciary very seriously, and that's how I began my real estate career. Now, Lauren, I know you're such a professional, but you have to tell me, what is the biggest mistake you made in your career or your personal life that actually correlated with your career? Do you mind sharing that with us?
I mean, I guess the biggest mistake I made being in the industry as long as I've been in is not starting soon enough. I feel like I was in operations, like I explained before, processing. I was in support capacity. I supported loan officers like myself for too long. I never had the, encouragement and I never had the sense of self to do it on my own, because if I had done it the right way and if I had that backing, I think I would have been more successful earlier. But fast forward, it led me to where I am now. So if I wasn't in the support capacity, if I didn't get and make all the mistakes I made going to a bank that I shouldn't have gone to, I wouldn't have come here and been as successful as I am. So I think our mistakes kind of add up to like being where you're supposed to be. So now I'm in the best spot possible. I'm very successful here, and I plan on doing so the rest of my life here. So, it's you got to learn from what you do wrong. I guess.
Love that. You have to learn from your mistakes. I mean, that's a huge statement. Learning from your mistakes and not letting your mistakes bring you down. Mm-hmm. I actually love that, and I appreciate it. I did also learn from my mistakes. I learned to just listen. Mm-hmm. I used to know a lot, and I do know a lot, and my experiences really made me who I am today. But I listen. I learned from the mouth of babes. My biggest mistake and regret is probably selling my Miami home, because at the time we wanted to make money on it. However, real estate fluctuates. It goes up and down, and I do miss my home. I probably buy the same type of, well, it's an apartment actually, I probably would buy in the same building eventually. That's how much I loved it. Another real estate mistake that I think I made that most realtors make. So here's a little pointer for you realtors. When you go to price a home, a listing, don't round it up. So let's say the home is worth $495,000. Don't round it up to $500,000 because when you do, you are missing a whole search. So Zillow has an algorithm, that you can search up to $500,000. So if you put 500,000, you are missing that target. If you put 495, you will get the target audience and you can negotiate. And that's when your realtor negotiation expertise will come about. So that's actually a mistake that I made as a rookie, and I will never do it again. So Lauren, I know that you're so successful, and I'm just wondering, how do you generate your leads, and how do you keep on getting all your clientele?
So I'm not really a lead-based type of lender. So I'm a relationship maker, right? So I only get my referrals word of mouth. So either my past clients, if I do a really great job for them, I get referrals. So most of my clients are from past clients and realtors. So I kind of expand my realtor relationships and keep them long term. I do a great job. They're going to come back and consistently give me business. So just like our consumers, they rely on you to help them in their expertise. I rely on you guys to use me as your, professional to refer me to your buyers. So they need you to expand their strategies and such. So what about you? I mean, how can you help buyers today strategize in this real estate market?
Exactly as you said. I appreciate everything you're saying. Today things are different than the realtors of the past. How? As the world advances, when there's social media and there's LinkedIn, Facebook with a huge platform, I'm almost like a Gen Z when it comes to that because I rely on my social media. I have had a couple of good clients that came to me from social media. Now, why do I appreciate what you said? When they do come to me from wherever they come, whether social media, LinkedIn, referral based, I act with the utmost fiduciary. And that's when the referral business comes in. Because if you do a good job and you are knowledgeable and you have good connection with a mortgage broker and the mortgage industry, and it's a one-stop shop, that's when consumers come back to you and they refer you because you take the headache away. Another thing is I rely on my licenses. So I constantly get myself educated so I can get a license in Florida or Connecticut and New Jersey. So I'm not very limited and I can take them from coast to coast. And what we're doing today, podcasting and referring each other, not only business, but ideas, because one thing I learned in life, and it's a little bit personal, but I'll take it to my earlier days in the fashion industry. It was literally almost like real estate where dog eats dog, the jealousy, the cattiness. It's not like that anymore. I mean, we're crying for help. We can see how the world is crying for help. If we don't help one another, what is it? United, we stand, and really divided we fall. As cliche as it sounds, it's 100% true. I believe in referring business. I believe in taking and holding hands, not only with my clients, with anyone that needs help. And that's what sets me apart. And that's why my team rely on me. I hardly say no, probably a bad thing, but I'll move a schedule around to accommodate. And that's another thing that I thought about the other day. When people duck calls today in the industry, that's not cool anymore, people. It really is not cool because guess what? We're constantly on. We are on. Everyone knows you're on. Everyone knows that you're constantly on your phone. You have your laptop in your hand. You are constantly on. This is a world of fast pace. We're on. So when you're ducking a call, guess what it does? It takes away your credibility. It takes away from your fiduciary. And you're not reliable and no one wants to do business with you. I will answer your phone even if I'm busy. And I will say, I'll get right back to you. Just give me 5 minutes. Right, Lauren?
Yes, correct.
Because you always answer your phone.
100%.
Right? It's not cool anymore.
I do.
I promise you it's not cool. Get with the program. This is 2022. Lauren, ideas into action. 2 seconds. Let's
Ideas
go.
into action
Ideas
for
into
home
action.
buyers today.
For home
So
buyers or anybody.
I want home buyers to get pre-approved early. Number one, like you have to go earlier than you think, because what happens is they think they're not ready, and all of a sudden the house of their dreams pops up on a Saturday and they have to spring into action. And that's why they're calling me at 8 o'clock at night on a Saturday night, which is fine. But that's one thing they have to do. Get your bank statements, your assets in order. Don't move money around. Make sure you have your paperwork before you're going into purchasing a home. Don't show up with a pay stub and then something from 2018. It doesn't help. So
I so appreciate that. It's very funny. You're right. So get everything in order. Ideas into action for me, I've written 5 books. So for me, I see the content already in my head. Get your ideas, right? Chop it into small parts, right? Give it a name. If you have an idea and you chop it into small parts and you don't give it a name, it becomes nothing, almost not of value. But when you name something, I even named my car London, right? It's true. It's one of my favorite cities. Like, then it means something to me. When you name your ideas, they become something important, right? So you target each part of the idea slowly, because Rome was not built in one day, right? Slowly. When you finish one target, give it a check, and don't be impatient. A lot of people lose their ideas, they lose themselves and their focus, and then they lose the whole idea. Just stay focused, target it, and give it a time, right? So in 1 year, this is what I want to be: a homeowner, an investor, a creator. What is the first thing a new buyer should know about mortgages, Lauren?
Okay, so first thing I would tell them is stop reading things online. So online has a lot of myths, online has a lot of misinformation, just like anything else. When you're Googling your health, it tells you things that are so bad.
It's
right?
lupus. No.
Correct. Correct.
That was
it's
George
not
Steinfeld.
lupus. So, but that is number one. I feel like they Google themselves to death, then they come to me, and I could tell when a person has a lot of Google history in their mind, because the questions they ask me are things that I'm like, wait, okay, pause for a moment. That only exists for this type of person or that. So it's kind of like when you go to your doctor, you start spitting out all the things you read online. They know you tried to self-diagnose.
Correct.
So don't try to self-diagnose your mortgage approval. You really should speak to your lender and speak to somebody who's referred to you, somebody who is knowledgeable, and you could tell right away if this person you're talking to has the background, has the understanding when you start asking the questions. So what about you? What would you say your guide would be for new home buyers in the real estate side?
In the real estate side, okay. So I do believe in saving early. Even before you get married, if you want to get married, start saving. Put money aside for your dream home. The second thing I would suggest is keep your credit really strong. If you don't have credit, you're going to probably still get a mortgage. However, right, you agree the rates will be up to the roof and you may have to pay extra fees. So secure your credit, make sure you pay your bills on time, and just keep on building your credit. Third thing that I would recommend is research the neighborhoods that you would want to live in. Where do you see yourself? Do you want to live by the water? Are you a city person? Do you want to go to the suburbs? Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years, right? For 10 years, where do you want to live? The next thing I would probably recommend is find a very reputable real estate agent, interview a few, and make sure that you and that realtor connect, because they will take you to that next step. And then you will find your mortgage broker. The mortgage broker will show you what kind of loans are available for new home buyers, because there are some. I mean, you can probably tell me more about the new home.
Yeah, there
buyers.
are first-time home buyer programs, but not every buyer will fit into that box, right? So you do have those, people Google it, but then when you read the fine print, sometimes those individuals, may not fit, and even if they do fit it, they might not want to. So there's some programs where it's like, okay, you could put 3% down on a home, right? One of the first-time home buyer programs. But if the person is intending on putting 20% down, they're not taking advantage of that 3% down, right? They have the additional funds.
Yes.
Or there's first-time home buyer programs where you have to make under a certain amount of money per year. So if you're making $400,000 a year, you don't qualify for some of these first-time home
Interesting.
buyer programs.
Yes.
One note also is FHA is not only for first-time home buyers. That is one big myth that buyers go, oh, I can't use FHA, I'm not a first-timer. It's not only for first-time home buyers, it's for primary occupancy only.
And that's how we need Lauren.
Correct. Right, exactly. And to your point about, people figuring out where they want to live, what I kind of tell people, even though I'm not in the real estate side, I say, look, if you kind of like an area, start to go out to dinner there. Start to hang out there.
Yes.
And if that's your vibe and where you want to be, because a lot of people are buckshotting all over Long Island, and it's frustrating sometimes for me as well, because I'm trying to pinpoint the real estate tax cap. I'm trying to pinpoint purchase prices. It's easier for me if a buyer kind of has an idea on where they want to live, so I can pre-approve them better.
Love it.
So that is a big portion. They just want to know what loan amount they qualify for.
Yes.
It's not one size fits all. If taxes are $20,000 or $10,000, your loan amount's going to vary.
Yeah.
So find out where you want to live by spending time in the neighborhoods of interest. That's kind of what I try to tell my buyers as well.
I absolutely love that, and I think that's a great advice. And what I want to stress, I want to capitalize on your advice. If you find a good realtor, she or he will know whether there's like a new mall coming into it, if it's a flood zone, if a
Coliseum is going to be built.
Coliseum is going to be built.
Yeah.
What is happening in that neighborhood? So the realtor should be from the neighborhood of your choice. Find a realtor that is in that niche. I love that word, niche, or niche.
Yeah, whichever.
Or niche.
Depends how you're feeling today.
Exactly. I am half French.
There you go.
So really, I love that idea. I think it's an excellent, excellent idea. All right, if you don't mind, I want to read one of my favorite quotes because I'm so interested to know what you guys think. So really, write your comment at the bottom. Let us know what you think about this next quote. And I'm going to ask Lauren. So here we go. You cannot leverage your skills to build the life you desire when you still let fear control you. This quote comes to us from Gary Vee. What does that mean to you?
For me, interestingly enough, it has to do with my career. So leaving processing and operations with a very secure base salary, moving into a 100% commission position, I was extremely fearful, but I had to get over that fear, and I just leapt in. And thankfully, I had the backing of Contour to kind of ease me into it, and it was really the best move I ever made, obviously, in my life. Yeah. So I think that's what it means to me. So if I was fearful, I would have stayed and did I don't want to call it the easy way out because it's still hard work, but it was definitely the safer route. So I went the unsafe route.
I love that word. It's the safer route.
It was, but I didn't take it. So
yeah, I love that. Yeah. So for me, this quote speaks to me in so many ways because I feel that fear is a controller. Not the Drake song, but just a controller.
The Drake song.
So when you allow fear to just consume you, it controls your mind. You cannot be productive, right? So my advice, capitalizing on this quote, is become the director of your own life and not the producer. Because my question to you, and you can write down what you think, who is more important in filmmaking? Is it the producer or the director? And there's a right answer to that. Do you think it's the producer or the director?
I would say the director, because he's the one telling everybody what to do, like Kenny over here.
Correct. Kenny is the most important. Kenny.
Kenny is. Without Kenny, we're nothing.
We're nothing.
He's like, that's definitely going in.
I love it. I love it. But it's 100% true. You are directing. By the way, we can speak all we want. Kenny can chop anything he wants out because he's the director. Mm-hmm. When you direct your own life, what happens is that you have a pencil and you can erase certain things, right? And when you erase certain things and create a different path, you could be successful. That is the tool of life. Fear is something you can erase because fear is a controller, right? And you are going to become a director of your own movie. Your movie is going to be absolutely beautiful. and you're going to be successful and thrive. By the way, I'm directing your thoughts.
I was going to say, I'm like, woohoo, I'm feeling good already.
And this is what makes me a great realtor and Lauren a great mortgage lender, because we are directing, but we're directing with positive influence and thoughts and education. And I hope you loved listening to us today. If there's anything that you'd want to hear, or if there's any people you want us to interview, or if there's if you want to be a guest on the Gold Coast Connections, please feel free to write down or reach to us. The information is down below. My name is Sima Levy from Nest Seekers.
I'm Lauren Pastore, Contour Mortgage.
And we were so thrilled to be here today.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.